Amy Rawls. I'm one of the HR consultants on the Family Forward North Carolina Rapid Response Program. We're so glad you're here, and welcome to Webinar 2 of our 3-part webinar series. Today our focus will be on how a family-friendly workplace allows employees to return faster and more fully to work. Before we get going, I would like to take a moment to thank some generous sponsors who have made this work possible. Thank you to the North Carolina Early Childhood Foundation, Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina, and the North Carolina Institute of Medicine. At Family Forward North Carolina, we understand that family-friendly workplaces strengthen our state. As a result, we've created an innovative initiative which builds and helps implement programs that will allow the businesses of North Carolina to become more family-friendly than they are today. This work is employer-led, and it will help businesses to become more productive and to attract, retain, and support the great talent they depend on every day. Finally, and importantly, this work will also support the healthy development not only of the North Carolina economy, but also of our children, who are the workforce of tomorrow. Together, we can be business smart, family friendly, and future ready. I wanted to take a moment to go over the key components of our Rapid Response Program. First, we have a 3-part webinar series, which is designed to give you the context, information, inspiring stories needed to allow you to reopen faster and with a strategic advantage, to bring your employees back earlier and more fully, and to create a people-first culture where an ongoing sense of security and safety can be experienced by all workers and when they go home to their families. We've developed a companion guide, which we're calling the Family Forward Return to Work Kit, that has additional information, context, resources, tools, and planning guides so that you can take ideas that you generate through this program and translate them into action at your business. And finally, if you find that you just would like a little more support from HR experts, we are offering no-cost opportunities to work with our consulting team and to help you put these practices in place if you need an extra hand. Here are the 2 front pages of the Return to Work kits I just mentioned, and you'll see that we have one that is targeted toward the manufacturing industry and a second that targets the hospitality industry. These will give you specific ideas within industry to help you put ideas into action and become more family-friendly. I also want to note that some of the trends and data that we mentioned throughout the webinar series, the sources for this can be found in the resources section of the kits in many cases. If you do opt in for the business consultation, here's the team that'll be supporting you. First, there's me, Amy. I've had many career opportunities, including most recently an executive HR position at a company that was extremely innovative and forward-thinking with respect to family-friendly practices. So I have a real passion and some experience with family-forward workplaces. Amanda Barnett is a true people scientist, and she will help to develop those systems that will allow your ideas to translate into the behaviors you want to see on your team. She has many years of experience supporting across industries, including in manufacturing. And finally, we have Jim Needell, who is an excellent resource for the hospitality and restaurant industry. His tenure in this industry is very impressive, spanning from his time as a certified executive chef to operations leadership and most recently senior HR leadership, and he really is a great resource. So I'd like to take one more moment to zoom out a little bit and talk about the goals of our webinar series. Welcome, you're in the right place. We are looking to highlight how family-friendly businesses will be able to open earlier and with a strategic advantage. And this was the topic for webinar 1, which hopefully you've seen, but if not, you can go back and watch a recording. Today, again, we're going to be talking about how to bring employees back to work more quickly and more fully, and the ways in which being family-friendly will help you to do that. And in our third webinar, we'll be talking about how providing an ongoing sense of workplace safety is really important for families right now, and that this will support your employees and their home when they return. We understand that you've felt many impacts from COVID-19. For example, now your workers are frontline employees, and they're frontline in a health pandemic that is reaching across the entire globe. Your employees will need to return to work, and they will have to come in to perform some of their job functions. So as a result of both of these first items, the risk to your team and to any clients that need to come to the work site to receive your services has increased, and it's new. This is a new pandemic we haven't seen before. So what you may find is that some of your best people are not able to return to work, or if they are, that they aren't able to return to work on your timeline, and they may need a different timeline. And this is why we know that your family-friendly investments will help your business. It'll help you to build the resilience you need now, and it'll help you to build the sustainability you need to be successful well into the future. We also know that COVID-19 has had some pretty serious effects on families. So here are a few things that your employees are likely to be experiencing. Many people are having reductions in their wages and earnings. This could be because of schedule reductions or not working as many shifts or any other number of scenarios that businesses are having to face right now. All of us are experiencing some degree of disappointment or uncertainty or loneliness or all of those, and it's just worth acknowledging that these are real feelings and that people cannot drop those at the door when they arrive at work. We're seeing an increased need for flexibility or new schedules. And certainly employees are taking on more outside of work, including increased caregiving responsibilities and even educating their children. So this leads to impacts on families. There's a loss of stability and security for many families. This is financial. This can be in terms of just the routine they're used to. This is also leading to reports of increased stress, anxiety, and mental health issues for children and for their parents. We've seen a decreased sense of routine, and some of those reliable daily rituals and things you went off to do are gone, or at least on hold for some indefinite amount of time. And families are experiencing a childcare and a healthcare crisis all at once. And this leads to concerns about health and healthcare. So as a team, we understand the complexity and the hardship of what you are facing in your business. And we also know that if you take time now and identify a path to which you can become more family friendly and provide more resources to your employees, that your team will see many benefits. They'll feel secure enough to return to work sooner. We all need a safety net sometimes, and these benefits can really create strong safety nets whenever a family situation has to take top priority in people's lives. And this is happening more so now than ever. When your employees are at work, they'll be able to focus on work and not on all the anxiety and stress going on outside of work. And this will allow them to produce the results that not only allow them to be successful in their career, but deliver the results your business needs to be successful. And you will build loyalty and a strong employer brand with a few minor or major decisions to move in a more family-friendly direction. And this will be important. It'll be important to keep your great people who you have today, and it will also help you to attract people in the future when job conditions do improve. So taking this time now, even when it's all crazy, will allow you to put together a plan to move into a direction of more family friendliness. And that this will really allow your business to build the resilience it needs to survive this crisis and the sustainability it needs to stay around for a very long time. So by creating a people-first return to work plan, you're able to create this psychological readiness that employees need for this new normal. A people-first return to work plan allows you to genuinely acknowledge that everyone is experiencing obstacles right now. We expect it. It's okay here. As a result, you're able to create a communication plan, and that plan can help you to build a culture of openness and trust and listening. You can communicate to your employees that their concerns are welcome here. We understand that everyone is experiencing hardship right now, and we want to work toward creating a workplace where you can come and be successful and earn a living for you and your family. This will require establishing systems where employees feel safe and have easy access to talk about their needs. Some of the needs they may be bringing to you right now could include a need for more support, need for time off, or a need for some workplace accommodations or change of schedule, things of that nature. And we need to offer ways where employees can access the help that they need, and therefore they can come to work more fully and more of their authentic, wonderful selves. So here are a few ideas that you could think about in terms of creating this psychological readiness. You could offer an employee assistance plan. You could think about how you might be able to expand health benefits. And you could think about opening a healthcare flexible spending account. So just to summarize for a moment, what we've discussed so far is employees need new supports in response to the COVID-19 crisis. There is a caregiver crisis looming. And so one thing you could think about in general terms is how you might be able to, as a business, add supports, add benefits that might enhance your employees' access to high quality childcare and elder care. As we've discussed, COVID-19 is a health pandemic. So maybe in a general sense, you can start exploring how to increase access to healthcare or health-related benefits. And I would make sure that you're thinking about not only physical or disease health, but also mental health and wellness. And again, earnings and schedules are impacted. So thinking in general terms, in our business, are there ways where we can provide predictive scheduling, ensure some level of consistency in wages and earnings, and where can we provide some flexibility in our scheduling? So the good news here is, even though people need more, you're in a position to help. So first, we're going to dive a little deeper into the support of childcare. So as we just discussed, a caregiver crisis is looming, and employees will need supports that they may not have needed before in acquiring and securing childcare. 60% of parents don't have any help with caregiving duties and education right now. 47% of parents say their ability to perform their work duties adequately has declined. And in over 50% of households, women are taking on 100% of this extra burden. And we're already seeing the data to show that women are beginning to opt out of the workforce as a result of the burden of these caregiving duties. They can't keep the pace. They don't have enough reserves in the tank at this point, and they're beginning to make those difficult choices. And really, shockingly and very importantly, only 32% of employers, that's less than a third, are planning to provide any sort of help in supporting employees through this childcare crisis. So this represents a strategic advantage, though. As a business, if you're able to commit to supporting employees with this predicament that is not going away soon, then you'll be able to attract the right people or keep the great people that you have. And here are some concrete ways you can do that. You can begin by thinking through, how could I provide backup care? You could open a dependent care flexible spending account to at least help offset some of the increased costs of childcare we're experiencing. You could provide support finding quality childcare providers and connecting them to your employees. And you could even consider something like a childcare stipend. I also want to emphasize that all of these difficulties here are experienced in even more severe ways by parents who have children who are under 5 years old. And there are many who are in the sandwich generation. And I would just point out that those workers that have both child care duties and elder care duties are getting kind of a double whammy here, and that all of these problems that exist in the child care system right now also exist in the elder care system. So this is a really, really important area where you can make a difference. So the next support we're going to talk about is paid leave. As we know, COVID-19 is a health pandemic. And so people are going to need time off from work for one reason or another. I can almost guarantee it. So if we're able to provide more paid leave, especially here we're talking about sick leave, you're able to create resilience in your business so that employees are not forced to choose between pay and taking care of themselves or their immediate families when they're sick. A recent study has shown that about 60% of workers in service or retail industries have reported to work sick. And the reason they cite for that is they have to earn money. And if they do not report in, they will not earn any money because they don't have paid leave. So this is a real gap that needs to be filled, and you can do something about it at your business. If you're able to provide paid leave for those circumstances where someone's family priorities must be the top priority, even over work, then again, you'll be able to build loyalty and sustainability because your team will really appreciate not having to make that impossible decision between pay and taking care of themselves or their family. This is a really important one from the standpoint of business sustainability. If you're able to allow people time off when they're sick, you're also creating safety for your customers, because when they arrive at your work site, they know that you have invested in your employees to the extent that they do not have to come to work sick. And that will give them a sense of security because they know your workers are healthy. So again, you can seek out some of these benefits and provide a strategic advantage for your business. And a few ideas here are paid sick leave, paid parental leave, and family and emergency leave. Another support employees will need that we've discussed briefly is changes to scheduling or more flexibility in their scheduling. So as we know, earnings and schedules have been impacted by COVID-19 and all of the business changes we've had to make as a result. So this is a point in time where you can stop and consider whether schedule flexibility for those that would be available for could help relieve some of the pressure they're feeling. You can closely examine and honestly examine whether there are any duties that have historically always been done at the worksite could be done effectively offsite at the location of the employee's choosing. It's a good time to really start dedicating work toward providing consistent scheduling. This allows families to arrange and keep good child care or elder care and tend to their other duties that they have right now. This is really key. You have to be able to engage in an ongoing dialogue with employees about what they need with respect to their schedule, and then checking in periodically to make sure whatever it is that they currently have will still work for them going forward. Leaders today must lead with empathy. This is being shown to be the most important leadership characteristic in the COVID-19 crisis. So how can you create this strategic advantage around scheduling? Well, you can offer a choice of part or full-time work as appropriate. You could consider this partial remote work, especially if you determine that, yeah, there are some duties that can be done offsite, even though they've always been done onsite. And then again, you can really establish predictable schedules that are available well ahead of the week that the schedule applies to, so that folks who are having difficulty with caregiving can line up a consistent schedule. So now's the time that I've set aside for some reflection. We've spent a lot of time talking through family-friendly ideas, why they're important, what problems they might solve, and why they're good for your business and for your people. So now I would like you to reflect on that and determine one benefit, the one that you're most interested in implementing. Why? Why would that give you an advantage? What are you looking to gain from it? And then write it down. So again, I'd like you to now pause the recording, identify one family-friendly benefit or change you would like to implement and that you can commit to, why it's important, and I want you to write it down. Welcome back. Now we're going to talk through about 3 examples of businesses who have really done inspiring work to increase the family friendliness of their workplace. The first is BarTaco. It is a chain, but it has several locations here in the Triangle area. And here on the left is the standard slate of benefits BarTaco was offering before COVID-19. And you can see, especially for the restaurant industry, they're fairly generous. They've got leave policies and basic life insurance, dental, medical, vision, and then for some folks, they do have paid vacation and other benefits. In response to COVID-19, they decided they needed to provide a safe workplace, safe for their employees, of course, safe for their families, and also safe for their customers so they could feel comfortable returning to BarTaco. So they have great things here on the right under their safe hospitality program, but I circled in green the benefit that I'm most excited about, which is they expanded emergency sick leave with pay. So what that means is when you go to BarTaco as a customer, you can be sure that their workers are healthy and pose no risk to you. If you're an employee of BarTaco, you have your employer's support to take care of yourself or take care of your family when you are sick. So a little story here is that, for months, our family had not gone out to eat, and we were really interested in doing that again. So I started doing research on where we could go, and we live over in the Chapel Hill area, and I found this website where it showed BarTaco's safe hospitality program. And it was this expanded emergency sick leave with pay that encouraged me to give it a shot. And so I really did feel taken care of as a customer, and I really applauded their efforts to take care of their people in the right way. And so we went to BarTaco and we had a lovely dinner. We felt very safe, and they've won a new customer for life. So this is how family-friendly benefits can be business smart. The next example is a North Carolina furniture manufacturer called Mitchell Gold and Bob Williams, and they have done incredible work to secure quality on-site childcare for their teams. They did make this decision prior to COVID-19, but I'm sure that it'll make them be more resilient through it and stronger after it as well. So this on-site childcare option is an all-in solution, and it's not going to be accessible to all businesses, but it's a great example of something that can be done. And their decision was to open the child care center not only to their employees, but also to children in the community. This helps them with their brand in the local community, of course, but it also helps offset some of the costs of running this facility. So what they've done is created on-site sponsored care for all employees who need childcare. In addition to that, they have on-site health and wellness center for employees. So you can just see that they're investing in families and their community. So this is a great example of how your benefits can truly be family friendly. Finally, our last example is from Food Lion. And paid parental leave has clear benefits for parents and for children, yet it's really not available to that many employees, and it's especially sparse for lower wage workers. In fact, only about 4% of our lowest wage workers have any access to even a single day of paid parental leave. So this was a big shift for Food Lion. It's based in Salisbury, North Carolina, and it is in the food distribution and grocery industry. New this year, although the decision was made prior to COVID-19, though again, I'm sure it has increased their resilience and sustainability in the midst of this pandemic. They have now started offering 6 weeks paid parental leave. This applies to all parents of all genders, whether that's through birth, adoption, or custodial placement, and it's available to all full-time employees. In addition to that, Food Lion generously supports educational assistance for workers and their families. So this is a great example of a company that really is becoming future ready. What's next? You've now seen a couple webinars, perhaps you've started looking at the kits. So please continue to work through the kit. It is a great resource. It'll help you develop ideas that'll be relevant, specific to your business and the things that you identify as the best opportunity for your business and your team. And then think about, what are you going to commit to? What is your plan going to be? And whether you can really do that with the resources you have, or you have to start putting together kind of a resource and feasibility plan. Please go on and watch webinar 3. It's also recorded like this one, and it'll again focus on how to create that culture of being people first and providing the safe workplace your team will need. And finally, if you think it's right for you, please apply, if you haven't already, for the no-cost HR consulting through our team. And again, we're able to support a limited number of businesses, and we would be glad to work with you if we can help you get the ball rolling in your business. For more on Family Friendly North Carolina, please check out the website, which is listed here. You'll find a wonderful guide to creating a family-forward workplace. You can sign up for the newsletter to stay in touch and keep abreast all the great things the organization is doing. And then if you do need to apply for one-on-one support, you can look for the Return to Work tab here on this website. Finally, to conclude, always nice to end on a note of gratitude. We want to thank again our sponsors. Mentioned them at the beginning, but they include Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina and the North Carolina Institute of Medicine. And we have a special rapid response program partner to thank, which is the Economic Development Partnership of North Carolina. Thank you for being with us today. Good luck surviving this pandemic, and know that you have the support and the resources you will need to become more family friendly, more resilient, and more sustainable as a result. Thank you.